Welcome back in, y'all. We are Black Girls Talking TV, where we bring the group chat to life and discuss all your favorite TV shows. Today is all about episode 10 of this current season of Survivor, and we have some things to talk about. If you're
Yes.
not already, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. I'm Victoria. I am a psychologist in New York and Illinois.
And I'm Kamaria. I'm an attorney in the DC area and a pop culture writer. Let's get into it. The Mitch of it all.
The Mitch of it
um,
all.
yeah. But then I will say this. Okay. Let's say what we're gonna say about Mitch before I say what I'm gonna say. Before I say this.
Yes. Well, one, let's also address today in the comments, people was cutting up, okay? And so don't get on this video cutting up and calling nobody names because it will be deleted. These are still people. This is a game.
Yes.
And yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
because
tolerated in this space over here. We don't do the
absolutely.
bullying. Absolutely.
Absolutely, because we can call Mitch's decision a bad decision, bad strategic
Yes.
play, or that we wanted him to do something different. We ain't gotta anybody gotta call him, get personal with it. So yeah,
Yes.
we saw some of that today, and it was like that's whack. Like, what's the point of that? Why are people just be a decent person, you know?
Yeah.
So
Acting unhinged out on these internet
yeah,
streets.
yeah. But yeah, Mitch. But what I was about to say that, like, to be fair, it wasn't just like Mitch. It was Camilla, like, too.
Yeah.
But it was like Mitch was the most visible resistance initially, and they couldn't
Right.
really get their momentum because he was so, like, clearly not trying to work with Star.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't understand it though. I was like, at the end of the day, you are on the bottom. You can't think that you are positioned before Eva, Kyle, or Shaheen. It's clear that Joe's at the top, but you couldn't have thought that you were positioned before them in
Maybe
that
they
group.
felt maybe they feel like the muscle's gonna go after each other, but I'm like, this is a very loyal, you know, group. So it's like they're preaching loyalty. I feel like they wouldn't go after them. So it's like
Yeah.
they're not gonna cannibalize, right? And so,
Right.
like, I feel like that should give them a little pause moving forward with them. But this was the moment. It would have been really nice to see them do this. Now,
Yeah.
it would have been a scrappier end game, but it would have been a end game. You know what I mean? Because,
Right.
like, if they knocked out all the big guys, like if they just went Joe, and then the next was because Eva would have played her idol or left. Eva would be here two times from now. They need to go for Eva, like, it
Yes.
because. But anyway, if they had gotten Joe out, they could have probably gotten Shaheen out next. They could have gotten out. I mean, I guess Kyle can. I don't know. I'm still trying to understand what this end game is about to look like. Unless Kyle flips over, I'm not seeing where their plan is. Like, unless he, like, visibly switches over to their side, you know?
Yeah. I think what should have happened was Camilla should have went to Mitch and said, "I know that Eva has another advantage. She didn't tell you,
Mm.
even though you think you're looped into the group. I would
Mm.
not have revealed that Kyle told me. I maybe if it was getting scratched at, maybe would have said Shaheen said it.
Mm.
But I feel like that would have had Mitch, it would have gave Mitch more pause and said, you know what, maybe I do need to go ahead and flip.
Yeah. I think once Mary came to him, I think they should have realized that they could go with them.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that ended their plan, I think that if Joe hadn't won immunity, we might have seen Joe go home. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it was too clear, and I think Mitch would have taken that route. So I think, like, a lot of folks, I think maybe Mitch is getting a little more flack than he deserves, even on the strategic end of it, because I wonder, we didn't see how it would play out if Joe hadn't gotten immunity,
Right.
because I think that's the way people are operating. Like, they're operating like Joe didn't have immunity. They could have gotten Joe out, and so look at this. But I guess they could have tried to get Eva out. Like, that's what Eva wouldn't. She would not have expected that. Like,
Yeah.
Eva should be the first shot. Like, I don't understand how
Yes.
Eva has not been the
Yes.
first shot, because she has
Yes.
too much stuff. You blow up her whole treasure chest when you get her, and then you surprise her because she wouldn't have played it last night.
Yeah,
She wouldn't have
and it
played
puts
it.
an idol back in play, and someone
Yeah,
else needs an
yeah.
idol at this point. So yeah, there were so many ways I think that they could have flipped it, but I think the plan really went rogue when it was Kyle's name getting thrown out there.
Yeah, for sure. That's what
Yeah,
yeah. But I yeah, cuz that's when Camilla said, "No, I'm out.
yeah,
This is not for me." But I really wish they had flipped the vote onto Eva. Maybe they were concerned about whether Mary would go for that, cuz I wonder would Mary have gone for that? But if I was Mary, I would go for that. Even though she's talks her and Eva talk about this relationship that they have. But Eva was very clear with her. I'm not using this on you. Basically, you're not in my alliance. So if I was Mary, I would have been like, thank you for your friendship.
yeah.
Cut her head off, you know? We can be friends outside of this game. But right now you
Same.
have let me
Uh,
know that we are not friends in this game, you know?
yeah. I thought that was bold of Eva to
I
say.
did too. I
Honestly,
thought it was actually the wrong
yeah,
move. I thought Mary was gonna just be like, boom, boom, boom. I have arrived.
yeah,
I've woken up.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
This is
yeah,
not for me. This other crew is for me. And it's interesting because it's like Mary has a bold game, but something is missing from it. I can't quite put my finger on it because I was very excited for her as a player, but something is missing from it. I don't
yeah.
know what it is. Maybe if I think about it long enough about it before the end of the episode, I'll have it. But it's something about how she's playing that she's got a lot of the pieces of a Survivor player, but she's not connecting. She's missing like a crucial something, like so her
Influence. She's
influence.
missing influence, and I feel like she's missing influence, and she also just too early attached herself to David. She became
Mhm.
David's number one, and I don't think that was the right move for her because it gave her blinders that just didn't
Mhm.
exist. She was
I
blind to a lot of things because of that. So it didn't really give her an opportunity, I think, to play at her potential.
Yeah. I guess it's something like it I do agree that she doesn't have the influence, but there's something about like her a trait I'm not sure if it's strategy or or what. I think it's strategy. It's like I think it's like she's not putting the pieces together. Like
Hmm.
she sees the lay of the land very well, but
Yeah.
she doesn't have a social strategy for whatever reason or something
Yeah.
to be able to use the vision that she sees, use it to create influence. You get what I'm saying? So it's like
Right.
it's what you're saying, but it's something about her that's like she's just so happy. I mean, not happy go lucky, but like scattered. I don't know how to explain it. Like
Yeah.
she's just like doing these one-off plans and telling these people the whole vision that she sees of like who's together, but she's not creating like a
Yeah. Yeah.
strategy or a
Yeah.
social strategy for
Maybe
how.
she's too agreeable.
Yeah, I
Like
don't
maybe
know.
once she feels she is too vulnerable, right, or like too in
Hmm.
the hot seat, she kind of retracts, and
Yeah,
now
no, that's yeah.
she plays for survival, and the way she's playing for survival is like being
Yeah.
agreeable.
Not enough
Um,
gumption, like, not
yeah,
enough
yeah,
gumption,
yeah.
like
To
yeah, you know
say
what it is?
hell
I think
no.
yeah, I think that's part of it because it's like there's a piece of Mary that feels like a player that's gonna have all this gumption and she's gonna go and she's gonna be like, "Are you in my troops? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you riding?" And that she's
Yeah,
gonna amass folks because she's gonna have that charisma, but then she doesn't. She just says, "This is what I see. I'm telling you guys,
hmm,
this is what I see." She just melts
yeah,
like butter. I don't know.
flopping all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like a really sad episode for me. It
For the
was. I was
star.
sad. I didn't want to see Star go. I was rooting for Star. I want to see Star change her family's life. You know, like that is what I
Mhm.
had in my heart for Star.
Mhm.
I could tear up thinking about it.
Sad.
Uh,
Really? Yeah.
yeah, that I was like, dog on, and it felt like watching her through the challenge. I was just like, because at first, we were saying, is she throwing the competition?
Mm-hmm.
But this challenge, she seemed defeated.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like she knew she had no like real place to go. Yeah, and I don't know if her edit is coming from the fact that she was ostracized.
Mm-hmm.
Because we see her alone so much,
Mm-hmm.
like just no one's coming up to Star to have conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if she was just feeling like, you know what, if this is my time to go, this is my time to go. But
Mm-hmm.
I was sad. I was sad for
Mm-hmm.
Star this episode.
Yeah, I thought something was interesting when they kept featuring her so much. Like, and then like for the first time in a
Yeah.
while, we started hearing people throw out her name. I hadn't heard anybody throw her name in quite a few episodes, to
Yeah.
be honest. So I was just
In
like,
any episodes, her name hasn't been on the chopping block.
well, except the first like two episodes, like when she was
Oh yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
vibing with
When
her original tribe in
yeah,
purple. But yeah, she's been just laying low. It hasn't been a thing. So I was surprised to see her name come up. I felt this was a wrong decision for everybody. Like
yeah,
literally, like Mary should have been the person that got out. Like Mitch don't even want to work with Star. You get what I'm saying? Like Mitch is a very vulnerable player in this game. He doesn't want to work with Star. Star does not have enough influence for them to all be scared of her like this. You get what I'm saying?
right.
Like not saying Mary has, but Mary's like she's Mary's like that chicken that after you cut their head off, you see them sometimes they can still run.
Yeah.
Like she one of them
No, for
things.
real.
They run for a little
Yeah,
bit. Like she gonna keep going until she can't go. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if she says stuff after they vote her out. She's gonna be playing mind games. Like she's not the one to leave in. I don't think.
yeah.
I don't think.
Well, it's also interesting because it's like if Star is this much of someone that no one trusts, right? If she's this chaotic, um, you have to leave in somebody that you feel like you can win next to. So at the very least, why wouldn't you leave Star in for that if you know she does not have the social capital to make
Mhm.
real moves, right? Like if
Mhm.
she's truly alone and she's a solo warrior in
Mhm.
this, why the hell are y'all going after her?
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's just a wrong read. They got too many friends in this alliance, and they don't know that it's time to start chopping
Yeah.
heads. So it's
I'm
interesting. I
like
was really
Joe,
excited.
Eva, Kyle at the end. Who do you think is gonna win in that trio?
Joe, Eva, Kyle.
At the end, that's what I'm saying.
Um,
If they're thinking about like keeping this strong alliance to the very end, like
I think Eva is winning if in that. Yeah. And I think Joe has the second best chance of winning. If I were voting, I would say Kyle. But actually, hold on. Depending on how Kyle's relationship is with other people, it could be Kyle too. But I feel like it's gonna be Eva. But I
mm,
don't know. I don't know. If she makes it to the end. But I'm just like y'all cannot let Eva get to the end. Like if y'all let Eva get to the
mm-mm.
end, I don't understand. I have no clue
Yeah,
what the deal is. But I'm excited. I was surprised though. Like this Star vote, like I said, I just don't think I think it was a waste of everyone's time. Because I don't think she has enough influence. I don't think Star could have won this game. To be honest, I'm not trying to
yeah,
down her, but not with this jury. I don't think she could have won.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
second person who probably couldn't maybe is Kamillah, only because I don't know if other people see her game. But the reason why I think that Camilla is still in it is I think she can articulate better
yes.
than
Her
probably
moves.
most of them
Yeah,
exactly what she's been doing. And so I think that, that if she gets to the end, she could have a chance based on
yeah.
that alone.
Well, do you remember a couple of seasons ago? I can't remember her name. The black girl who won.
Marianne.
Yes, Marianne. That is the game that I was seeing for Star, where it was like
Mm-hmm.
everybody was just keeping her around because it meant nothing to them in terms of their game, in terms of a threat level. And then all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, there were these little things that just started aligning themselves
Mm-hmm.
that made her a winning player.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I was hoping for Star through this, because we weren't seeing so much of her. I was like, maybe if she does make it towards the end, things will start happening for her, and she can start making, little subtle moves.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a hot mess. Child, 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 child.
Did you want to talk about some of the conversations that happened earlier? So, like, that Mary had a couple conversations with Joe, one, and then another with
Yeah,
Eva.
yeah,
We talked a little bit about the one with Eva, but the one with Joe was like his attempt to be jury management, but he was so obvious. You
yeah.
can't be obvious with it,
Right,
like,
right, right.
and
Literally
it
saying, I want to
backfired.
make, yeah. Like, this is not, you don't have Mary's vote after this. I can guarantee you, Joe.
Right.
Because as soon as that conversation was over, Mary was just like, you think just because you're being honest with me, I'm going to vote for you? Like, no.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Especially when you're willing to put my name down, because that's essentially what you told me in this
Mm-hmm.
conversation.
Mm.
Did you have anything to say about it?
No, I just felt, it could have not happened.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Or there was another way to endear yourself to her as a jury member. Um, but yeah, and then he told her something. I can't remember, but he told her something. What did he tell her?
He told her
Okay,
that the
she was
reason why
the
David, yeah, she was the reason why David left.
yeah,
Um,
and I'm just like, I wouldn't have told her any information like that because I feel like
yeah,
at the end of the day, you're kind of arming her a little bit more with some information
right,
because she recognizes that, okay, this crew, this alliance that I just was a part of, that's what you guys think. Got it.
right.
And you kept her in a game, it's just, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying like she's agreeable, because she didn't take that information and give it like any fighting power. I'm like, nobody is sitting down and spewing information that they have, even though they don't have much at this point. Mary and Camilla have the most to
Hmm.
even make a plan go forward to even flip. Um, See, this. I'm sorry, this was just a sorry ass episode. It was.
Really? Yeah, I
Yes,
mean, it
and
was good.
okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Because I was about to switch a topic, so you go ahead.
And I'm saying it's good. You were saying it's a sorry episode, but it was good. I just felt like they built us up in a good way, and we were excited, and then it was just such a letdown. And so
Yeah,
that does make the episode suck. But I feel like it was an entertaining episode to watch, up until we got to the end.
yeah,
Up until
yeah.
Joe won, like I was sitting there like, nah, he can't win because I was afraid for Kyle. Kyle, I'm still
Yes,
rooting for Camilla and Kyle, and I was afraid for Kyle. I didn't think I didn't
yeah,
know who was going to come. I was like, this is about to be, we don't know who's going to end up going from this, but if it's not Joe, I knew it wasn't going to be Eva, but
yeah,
it should have been Eva. Like they literally should have been four on Eva,
yeah.
and then
Point
in
blank.
that way,
Period.
Kyle could have broken the tie.
Yes,
But he would have
yes,
crossed Joe. Joe would have been like, because apparently there's this bond with him and Joe that I mean I know they discussed what they discussed last week, but I didn't know it was
but
that deep.
Shaheed probably would have broke the tie too. I wouldn't have put it past him.
Funny, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I guess they were trying to figure out like somebody they wouldn't go to Rocks for, but they would have gone to Rocks maybe for Joe. I don't know. But who was going to Rocks? Who was going to Rocks? Shaheen ain't going to Rocks,
Yeah, Shaheed not going to rocks and
and
Kyle
Cal
not
not
going to
going to
rocks.
Rocks.
Yes, point
Yeah,
blank.
Joe and Eva
Period.
the only
Joe would
ones.
have went to rocks for Eva. And Joe would have had to go back to that camp and realize
but
we are not going to rocks.
But the thing is, isn't how rocks work? Is like they all have to agree, otherwise they are going to rocks.
Yeah, they all have to. No,
Yeah,
not
so
they all have
Joe
to
would have been
agree,
the
but
holdout. Joe would have been the holdout. He would have gone to rocks for Eva, and so that's why I guess they had to go for Kyle, and
yeah,
that's why the child. Why I'm just catching that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Because Joe would have gone to rocks for Eva. Why I'm just catching that. I ain't got time.
Yes, yes,
Um, but they should have just did Shaheen.
yeah. I don't know why
Because I don't
Shaheen's
think they
name
would have
never
gone to
came
rocks
up,
for
but
Shaheen.
I don't think Camilla wanted to go for Shaheen either, because Camilla kind of has a little bit of a relationship with Shaheen. So
I don't know what
yeah,
her plan is. I'm still like I renew my statement from the last episode when I said I don't know if they're just not showing us her strategy. I don't know if she's not having the strategy, but there's something that is falling a tad bit flat for me. Or not flat, but it's just like I I would like to see a little bit more of her
Yeah.
game. Either the producer's not showing it, or I would like to see her a little bit more strategic because she came out the gate so strategic. And I don't know if it's just because they're
Yeah.
tired and stuff like that. Because I can only imagine not eating, not sleeping.
Right.
She
Yeah.
might be like, look, I live another day. That's good enough for
Yeah.
today, you know? So I don't know, but I want to see what is her plan because this doesn't look good, you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't look good. Because, like, do you think Kyle is going to switch now? Because technically they're now at 7 and there's 3 on this side, 3 on that side. Kyle is completely in the middle, you know? But it's not really 3 on this side, 3 on that side because Mitch thinks he's over here. But
Yeah. I
what do
think
you
it's
think
going to depend on who gets immunity. And I think it's going to depend on whether or not it is Eva in question. Eva has to be in question for a tide to turn, I feel like.
for you mean like what do you mean like it, whether they're gonna go
Because
for Ava?
now it's 3-4 technically.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for I think Joe, I mean, in order for Kyle to switch over, I think he has a better relationship with Shaheen and with Joe. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
think he would be
Oh,
willing to
to do
flip
it
on
for
them this
Shaheen. Yeah.
early. Yeah, I think it
This
has to
ain't
be
early. This the
either.
end. Like they, but I
Well,
get what
they
you're saying. I
playing like
agree with
they still early in the game. They're playing like it's
yeah,
still early,
they
baby.
really are. But I will say that like Eva at this point they're not gonna be able to get her out before Final Five because she's
Yeah,
got an advantage. I feel like does she have 3 that can take her? She's got an idol. She's got a safety without power, and she's got. Does she
that's
have one
it.
more thing?
Just her
Is that
shot in
it?
the dark. Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
shot
it.
in the dark. No, she wouldn't play her shot
Yeah.
in the dark. But yeah, if they don't go for her, like it's like now is the time she's about to start pulling out these things, you know.
Right.
That's
Right.
why I also hate thinking back to Star giving that girl the idol because she
Yes.
could have used that tonight. Like you know what I mean.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I mean, people
God,
would have been tried to
yes.
get her out, but they would have tried to get her out. She would have had to burn it before
Yeah.
now. She really would have.
Yeah.
So it's not. It wouldn't have saved her now. She would have had to burn it. But
Yeah.
either
Which
way,
what's that about? Because y'all would want my girl Star to burn her idol, but you ain't got Eva up here burning hers.
right,
Let's
right.
talk about it. Let's
That's
talk
a hypothetical
about
situation.
it.
But that's
Yes.
how it would have went down for sure. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. But anywho,
Yeah.
but yeah, I do feel like at the end of the day, I don't understand this how Eva's still, uh, you know, I
Child.
I think that she is hands down winning the game. Like I think
Yeah.
next to anyone if they don't get her out,
Yeah. I
hands
agree.
down.
I agree. And I thought she was going to be more of a challenge threat. And maybe she could be if Joe and Kyle weren't there, since they just keep going back and forth between them two with winning individual immunity.
Hmm.
Um, but if she wins another immunity challenge and then she also has her idol and safety without power, she's safe
Hmm.
for 3 tribal councils.
For
Like,
sure.
I don't know what they're thinking in this
Yeah, and
moment.
then
I
they're
know
not
they
going to
probably
beat.
watch it back like, why the hell did I do that?
Yeah, because they're not going to beat them if they leave these guys in there. They're not going to beat them
Yeah.
come come final 5, 6. Final 4. Yeah, final 4 is fire, but they're not beating them. So
Yeah.
more power to them. Is there any other things like did we talk about Mitch's and Star's conversation?
I think we hinted at just all the conversations that were happening, but
Yeah.
I know I was offended when Mitch was like, if anybody else would have came up to me, but Star of all people,
Sure
I'm like,
picked
doggone,
up.
how did Star get
Yeah.
here? And that's why I wish we would have had more from her because it's like they just dropped this ending of Star on us with no
Mhm.
backstory, with
Right,
nothing, with
right,
no information.
right. Just a soundtrack. Just a
Yes,
soundtrack.
just the
That's all they
soundtrack.
did. Just
Yeah,
dropped
I'm
it with
like,
a
y'all couldn't
certain.
give us nothing from Star, but y'all giving us her rapid.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
Survivor, not
yeah.
a rap battle. Okay.
Right.
Um. Yeah,
Um.
I did also want to talk about though, Kyle's picks. So he picked
Oh
Camilla,
yes, we didn't talk about
Eva, and
that.
Shaheen from the reward challenge. What did you think about that?
Mhm. Well, so because he picked Eva first, I thought that was a good choice because it's like she is like the queen of the tribe right now, or
Yeah.
princess because but in a with the power of the queen. She's like I think people are looking at her like a princess, but she has the power of the queen. Like to be
Right.
honest, like you know what I mean. And Joe is the king, and so I think it was important to pick her to stay in the queen's good graces.
Yeah.
I felt like I wondered if he should pick Camilla because I was like, is that too revealing? But
He
I was like,
spun
no,
it
I
well
think that's
though.
cool. He said it. Yeah, the way he
Yeah.
said it was good, smoothed it over. But when he picked Shaheen, I was like, that might be a little too like convenient. That it's like David was talking about y'all, but now
Right.
y'all the ones going on the award. But I didn't think he should pick Joe. I felt like he should pick Mitch. That's what I was thinking. I was like, he should pick Mitch. Um, or he could have picked Star. But like one of those two, Mitch or Star,
Yeah.
have I feel like Mitch would have had more influence, so that would have been a better person whose ear you could have and bond with. But I felt like one of those two are like you could have give just like I'm just trying to, be nice. I think in the beginning Mitch hadn't been on many rewards. And so I wouldn't have picked Shaheen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't want Shaheen and Joe back at camp bonding and being like, bro, me and
What was
you,
that
like,
about?
what you
Yeah.
think? Well,
Because
we
Joe was
started this
pissed.
together and now we gonna finish it, bro. Like you don't want
Right.
that final two conversation to happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. The only thing I don't like, because I didn't really like Joe's response. Because Joe was
oh,
kind of like, he was pissed that he didn't get picked or whatever. He was like, I'm trying to
mhm,
reframe it and say, he wanted me at camp to babysit and, make sure nothing crazy was going on. But I'm like, what is this with people just feeling entitled to get picked for these reward challenges when there's people who have not
mhm,
gotten to go,
mhm.
I'm like, at this point, hasn't Joe been the person to pick everybody?
Honestly don't know. I
Oh,
don't know.
okay. Yeah, and I can't
Oh, Joe
remember
did pick for
Joe.
the last one. He didn't pick
And he
Kyle.
didn't pick Kyle. So I'm like, why the hell do you think, what I'm saying, you should get picked? And Mitch, you got picked
Nah.
the last time. No offense, but you got
Uh,
picked the last time.
uh,
So,
yeah, Mitch did
um,
have. Yeah, they was a little. I wasn't thinking about nothing. I was thinking about Mitch a little bit, but I was just more so thinking about it from the standpoint that Kyle is guilty.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I was
yeah.
thinking. I was like, Kyle's double playing everybody, and they're seeing it.
Yeah,
No, 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 stop seeing it. But now that I see it from your perspective, I think you're right. Like there was just all this entitlement and like and these people did just go on a reward and one of them didn't pick, Kyle.
right.
And so, you know. But
Yeah.
the king of the tribe wants what he wants.
Right, 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 right.
So
And when they were on the challenge, something I did notice, I don't know if you picked it up, but when they were talking about Star, Eva was like, yeah, we got to get that girl out of here. Baby,
mhm,
I don't think white people sometimes understand, like, when you put that boy, girl, like, in
mhm,
conversations about black people, it's
mhm,
triggering, right? Like, it
mhm,
brings you back to a time that we no longer are in.
mhm,
And so I feel like it's I don't want to say like they don't know, so how can they do better?
mhm,
Um, but I feel like it's just so much a part of like the black lived experience that white people just
mhm,
will never understand, that there's
mhm,
sensitivities around how you speak about black
mhm,
people when you're
mhm,
referring to them.
mhm,
It's kind of like that conversation when people say, men, and then all of a sudden now you're saying females. Like you
mhm,
don't say
mhm,
males
mhm.
and females, you say men, and then you say females instead
Yeah.
of women. Yeah, so
Mhm.
I feel like it was a little testy for me. I was like, Eva, I don't like you anymore.
What?
I'm saying like my like for you is not growing
It's not
after.
going. Oh no, I got you.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean,
after
I
after
don't
that
actually
that
remember
moment.
that moment, but it was in the challenges. Sometimes the challenges, I'm not gonna lie,
No,
y'all.
it wasn't the challenge.
I,
It was when they were eating at the reward challenge.
oh, you know what? Vaguely, I do remember. I be having bad memory, but I vaguely do remember, and I think I did feel that it was like odd to refer to her that way. It's like, yeah, she's a grown woman. Like, yeah, I
Yes.
actually do think I know what you're talking about. Um, that moment, but I couldn't remember it. It went in one ear and went out the other. But yeah, it's definitely like a thing to like people to be mindful of, and I think it's important for to share that perspective,
Yes.
because like a lot of look
Yes.
these
For
experiences
all of
we
our
people
white viewers,
happen.
just know, take that and girl out the vocabulary when you talk about black people. And we all good.
Yeah, but yeah, no, thanks for sharing that.
Yes. So is there anything else in the episode that you feel like we didn't touch on that's important to touch
Not
on?
just David came up in there mad at Tribal.
Yeah.
I was like,
But
yeah, and then Star calling Mitch out for telling her that to play that shot in
yes.
the dark. I'm like,
Yes.
okay. Mitch was
Yes.
like, but it's like, he look, you could have been on her side, but you chose to be
Right,
an
right.
enemy.
You
So be an
chose to be
enemy.
an enemy. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it. I don't really have anything else. You?
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens next week. That is all on our end. Again,
Yeah.
subscribe to Black Girls Talking TV if you aren't already, and hit that notification bell so you can stay tuned to all of our recaps.
And we have a Survivor chat on Instagram. So
Yes.
a Survivor 48 chat. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
but all right.
If you want to join that, DM us. But yeah.
Yeah. DM us.
Alrighty.
All right. Next
Bye.
time. Bye.